going through what he was going through on the outside of the court and all this, just talk about it. It was in
so
the
talk.
media, it was in whatever.
Over,
I mean,
right?
everybody wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Me, I love to talk about it. Like, I will talk to anybody about it because I did not handle it the way that he did. But he just handled it with such grace and class and never made it about anything else, but he was just locked in with his guys, and that's why they were able to do what they did last year.
Welcome to the FocalFlip Podcast. Every week we take a deep dive into the mystery and stigma behind mental health and explore real-life stories of struggle and triumph. We aim to educate and encourage others as we bring together a diverse group of guests. From the streets to sanctuaries, classrooms to boardrooms, mental health does not discriminate, and neither do we. Prepare to laugh, prepare to cry, prepare to be changed. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the FocalFlip Podcast, Season 2. This face right here just recently got 500 wins last month. I've got Coach Andrea Sullivan here. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm going to give you guys to get a little rundown of Coach Sullivan here. If you guys have watched some of our other episodes, you've gotten to meet her husband, and we had talked a lot about her, this one right here. So we were chatting quite a bit about her mentality and kind of her thought process and her heart and, kind of some of her strategies when it comes to coaching. So she is the volleyball coach at Scott High School, very successful volleyball coach. And I wanted to get her out here to be on the podcast. And we were sitting here trying to figure out, now they've got kids who are athletes as well. Her daughter plays on the team as well. Elijah plays for Tim, So we finally got this worked out. So thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, it has. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about her here. She's got a game tonight for the number 1 seed. I'm
a little on edge right now.
She sat down and was like, I'm a little bit on edge. We got a game for the number 1 seed tonight, And it's 3:23 in the afternoon, and she's got a game tonight. That's
7 o'clock.
Amazing.
Well, I'm ready. We're ready.
I know you are. I could say good luck, but good luck. I hope everybody's safe. But
I do too. Yeah.
I think you guys will dub. I love it.
That's what we're hoping.
I love it. Awesome. All right. So today I want to talk about basically your story. I want to talk about your upbringing and what brought you into teaching and your perspective of when you had met Tim, and then what your career advancements have been like, then what it's like been being a coach. So take me through that. I know there's 23 years of experience in there coaching. So that's the stuff that I really want to dive in and learn and understand about you.
I think my love for just sports in general, not just necessarily volleyball, but sports came from growing up. My dad, he played basketball in high school, so he kind of had the sports mindset, and he, coached multiple teams that I was on, coached my brother. So I had an older brother that's about a little over 2 years older than me. So I think as a younger sibling, you always kind of, especially having an older brother, I always wanted to beat him in everything. That was like my number one goal. But we were the only ones in the neighborhood with a basketball hoop outside, and it was really nice, concrete, Yeah. So I remember nights of basketball games. I would be the only girl playing. We had a spotlight out there, and
that's awesome.
We would be playing till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and kind of like our kids do on our
How
court today.
How old were you at this time?
Young. Elementary school, then middle school, high school. You just you guys grow up together, and then everybody meets on the court. And then one year, I think I was in middle school, my dad bought us a really nice volleyball net to put outside, and our yard was kind of flat. We lived on, like a block. We were at the bottom of the block, but we had a flat yard. Yeah. So we set up a real nice volleyball net. You never see these things. It's nice. And so then we started playing volleyball games. The neighbors would come down and we would play volleyball games. And so it was always fun because our house was kind of like the center. And
yeah, it sounds like
it was like the sports house where people would come play basketball, play volleyball. So that's kind of where my love came from, just, growing up and doing whatever I could. My parents put us in, everything. I did everything from volleyball, basketball, softball to track. I think I played a little bit of soccer, but I don't like to admit it. And I did a little bit of cheerleading, which I usually don't tell people either. So that was a long time ago. But, I think growing up and then playing, in elementary school and then starting to move on to middle school, getting into coaches, I had some really good coaches in middle school. And you had Tim Hanner on here a few weeks ago, and he just a stand-up guy. Not only was he a phenomenal teacher, but just coaching wise, I had some really good coaches, and I think that's what inspired me to want to give back. And he was one of them at an early age that I remember. And then moving on to high school, playing multiple sports in high school. Al Russ, another one that stands out. He's the one that actually talked me into playing softball.
Yeah.
I was just going to do volleyball and basketball, and he was like, he always tried to recruit the athletes. If you were athletic, he wanted you. And then I started playing softball, and I loved that. And I ended up going to Thomas More and playing volleyball and softball there for 4 years.
You played both?
I played both, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes. And then I actually played basketball my junior year. So every summer, kids come home from college, but in Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati, you have a lot of, girls that come back home. And so there was these leagues that would go on up in Cincinnati, and I would go play with Thomas More because I lived around here, So we would go up and I would play every summer with them. And then the coach, I guess they needed an extra player or a big. And so she was like, called me Pop. She was like, Pop, can you play? You want to play basketball this year? And I was like, I don't know. And then I was like, you got number 13 available? She was like, yeah, I'll give you whatever number.
Is that your favorite number?
It was like my volleyball number. I was 99 in softball, but 13 in volleyball. And so she was like, yeah, you can have 13. So I played 1 year, and it was really hard to play 3 sports in one and try to do a good job at all of them. Like with volleyball and softball, I always had the winter off.
Yeah, you'd have the winter off, the gap.
I could kind of not only rest, but then prepare my body for softball because I was a catcher and catching, and I had 2 ACL repairs prior to going into college. So already that's
Holy smokes.
really tough on your knees. So I have 2 knee replacements right now.
So catcher and softball, and then you had volleyball and basketball your junior year?
I was in the best shape of my life.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. That's a lot.
I think pretty impressive. I'm not sure that I've ever really heard that very often.
I played at Thomas More, so it was Division III.
Well, it's D3,
so it was something that was doable. There was a couple other like multi-sport athletes, I think 2, but I don't know how many actually played 3 sports there. But.
Shoot, you're like the white girl Dion plus something.
I say I was maybe a little above average in all of them, but not like I would say softball, I was maybe a little bit more of a standout because I was the first one to play all 4 years at Thomas More when they got the fast pitch program.
Cool.
So I was the first one to come in as a freshman and actually
play right away.
Correct. And then
good for you.
First graduate of that program, which is really cool to see how much they've grown and developed. And, they have a turf field now where we were picking up rocks, and we actually made the first field there. I remember my coach, every day he would drag the field, and we would have to go out there for an hour and just pick up all these rocks. And I'm just like, people don't know what we did back in the day.
So what years were you at Thomas More?
So 1997 to about 2001.
Wow. Okay.
So my 4 years, and then I
that's crazy. Just 3 years.
With playing all the sports, I started off doing a little bit of athletic training. And then I switched my major just strictly. I was going to minor in art, and then I switched that because I just couldn't get my hours I needed for athletic training with playing multiple sports.
Yeah.
Because you got to travel with the teams, you got to tape them all. There's a lot that goes into that. It's a lot of hard work. So I still have that background, which is nice for coaching, taping ankles. Tim always says that he's a phenomenal ankle taper, which I would like to compete with that because I think I'm pretty good too.
We're going to have a tape off.
Oh, I know. This is going to be good.
Quentin, we're going to take your feet.
So anyway, it's, I switched my major to art. But again, going back to what you said about coaches, again, at Thomas More, playing 3 sports, I had 3 different volleyball coaches in 4 years. I had the same softball coach all 4 years, and then the one basketball coach. But I think a little bit, I always say I take a little bit from every coach I played for. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of turned me into the coach I am today, as far as just, the drive. I think you have to have a drive to coach. I had a a young coach recently come up to me and she saw there's a banner in the gym for my 500th win. And she goes, I want to do that. And I was like, I would love to talk to you because nobody wants to stay in it this long.
Yeah.
It's a lot. I mean, you don't see coaches.
Give me goosebumps.
I would say in volleyball, there's a lot more that have the longevity, but that's any new coaches that come in. It's really rare that they stay in it that long.
Yeah.
And it's, 500, it's just a long time coaching. It's not really that, I'm any better than anybody else. It's just, I've been doing it so long.
Yeah. I was reading your article on the link on the Kentucky article and stuff. And I was just like, I was excited to have you on and to chat about it, but it is, that's what it is. It's an interesting observation that you said, like, nobody stays in it that long. So for when you hear that, it kind of catches you off guard for a minute.
Right. So if there's a young coach, I gave her my phone number after the game. I go, call me, text me. Like, I will meet up with you. I will talk to you. Like, because it's, certain programs, I'll say we've had it here and there, but, either the parents or the players, times are changing. And it's really difficult to maneuver through the changes, with you see that kids that are entitled and think that they should play just because they're on the team. You see parents that don't understand why their kid's not playing, or they don't understand the concept maybe of a team. Yeah. Maybe they didn't play themselves, or maybe they don't see the overall picture. And I think that's what some people don't understand is coaches we always have the best interests of the kids in mind.
Absolutely.
We're not here to please parents. We're here for the kids, just like you are, like as a teacher. We teach because we love kids. Like, we want to give back. We want to help people be better. And I think that's the biggest thing about coaching is trying to make them better people, trying to teach them. I've learned so many life lessons from sports. And I talk to my girls about this, especially with, mental illness and things like that, and anxiety and things that these kids deal with. Especially as young females, I think it's so important to have a strong woman, as a coach or as just a mentor, whatever you want to call it. But, and I try to be that for my girls. I want them to understand that life's not easy. It's what they're going through right now is probably the easiest time in their life. And I always say the next 5 years, there's going to be something that'll knock you down.
Yeah.
And how are you going to find the will to pick yourself up? Because think about you've gone through
You're
things.
making me want to run through a wall right now.
I know, but we've all been there, but we've experienced a lot of life so far.
Yeah.
And life sucks sometimes. And I can honestly say I have a lot, my brother has some mental illness. It runs on my mom's side. We have a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that if I didn't play sports and I didn't learn that mental toughness aspect of it, I could see myself going down a different path easily.
Yes, great point.
So I think it's something that just having the toughness to know, like, this sucks, but I know there's another side to this. And I know it's not going to be easy. It's going to suck, but you just have to find that will to get through it. And I really think it's like internal driven. And I think it's something that we develop being athletes and being coached by great coaches. And,
absolutely.
And people that push you and to instill in you, that the belief that you can get through something, no matter how tough it is.
Absolutely. That was amazingly well said. Very well said. I agree with you so much. I think a lot of the conversations that I've been having is that we don't see as much character building, and that's where it's like, I want to get into the trenches, and you as a coach and all of us who are in it genuinely want to get into these trenches with these kids. And just teach them and show them it's okay.
Right.
And that's the thing is, like, no matter what, we navigate our way through stuff. And I love that you said that, because I think now that I can relate with what you said, because I think that's what it was for me too. I think it was, like, for example, when I got hurt with basketball and we started stripping the coaches away from me was when things started kind of going a ruckus.
Right.
And it was just a little bit chaotic. And then, you don't really know who to seek out to those people at those times. But I'll tell you this, who I have? It was Coach Humphrey. 3 separate times, tough times in my life. Mm-hmm. Coach Humphrey and Tim Hanner now.
Yeah.
And when you brought Tim up, I admire that man more than anything. I almost get emotional just talking about him because he's that good of a human being and he's that great of a leader. But I just had lunch with him again yesterday. We talked about you. And he admired you as a student and everything that you've accomplished, and everything he says is authentic and genuine.
Yes.
And when you sit, like for me, I struggle with trust issues and stuff. And when I sit across from somebody else and you actually feel like they're not trying to like take you for something,
right,
or try to steer you on what they want you to do, like someone who actually genuinely cares and then instills power in you and shows you, hey, look what we can do as a group and as a team. That's what this is all about.
Right.
That's what life is all about, you know?
Absolutely.
And so the way you explain that so well, because I feel like I've struggled with trying to explain that. And I think that's what that's been like for me.
Yeah.
I really do. So yes, very cool. Very cool. Let's talk about 500 wins. You just recently accomplished 500 wins. And that's 23 years. So you spoke on, it takes time. It takes time. It also takes skill to win 500 games.
Well,
I'm not trying to I know you're a very humble person. But what I've learned about you is that you take pieces from everything that you've learned. You're pouring in to students nonstop, which requires a unique energy. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too. So tell me about what your mindset is with your teams and how you were able to accomplish 500 wins. Because we're talking, how many games did you win last year?
Oh gosh. I think we ended up winning around 30 plus.
Yeah.
But we went far into the postseason.
Super
so we
far.
got a lot of extra games,
Yeah.
And that's helped us in the past, going in the region. And once we got to the 10th region, we first 5 years we were in the region championship, and it took us, I want to say 4 to 5 years before we won our first one. And then we didn't drop a set in 4 years to a 10th region opponent.
Holy smokes.
I didn't even know that stat until a reporter came up to me and he was like, do you know you guys haven't even dropped a set in this long? And I go, no.
Y'all didn't drop a set to a 10th region opponent in 4 years.
Something like that. I was kind of blown away because it's not something you look at as a coach or
because you're looking
really
at
think
moment by
about,
moment,
but you just want to win.
Yeah.
But you don't look at that type of stuff, the breakdown of things. And so I was kind of blown away by that. But it's just, it's been tough. It's not easy. And, as coaches, and Tim knows this, it's just a lot of our conversations is about our kids and our programs and what we're doing. And it takes up so much space in our lives. And there's a lot of times where you feel guilty as a parent because you're pouring more of yourself into other people's kids than you are your own. And I've had that mom guilt so many times. I've come home just, especially when you have rough nights or you go back-to-back nights and you're not seeing your kids, especially when my kids were younger. And I remembered nights I would be in tears just because I missed bedtime and I wouldn't, I didn't see my kids that day. And it's been tough. I will say having, Tim at school this year with me and having Emery now with me has totally taken a lot of that away.
Yeah,
now Tim's got to come to my games, where last year he was going to watch her play. And,
we're going to explore that.
She was the number one priority, which I totally get. But now, Easton, our youngest, is coming to my games and he has friends at, Woodland. So, and we're going to be sending him to Woodland next year. But I love having my family around. And there's nothing better as a coach than when you look in the stands and you see your husband or see your kids and, having my daughter on the bench with me. And it's just, it's been really, really special.
That's awesome.
We went through a lot in the last year, and for something positive to come out of that, a blessing. It really is. Again, Tim and I have always talked about, we would totally work. People question that. They were, people are like, are you guys going to be okay? Are you going to make it through? And we're like, yeah, we've been talking about working together for years. He would always be like, there's an art position at Cooper. And I'd be like, I don't think so. But, but when the Scott job, it was just perfect timing, with everything we went on, and we were starting a business program, and, Tim obviously does a great job teaching as well. And so when we could bring him on, that's a win, for our school. And he's already
I was sitting
off
here
the
like,
ground
Cody,
running with that
Cody
business
Wolf,
program.
let's go. I was telling everybody, let's go. Great
Grand
work.
slam right there. Yeah.
It was fantastic. That's what, I got to tell my story about how I've kind of gotten to know you guys, but, and I've gotten to know the story and be kind of in the trenches with you guys a little bit and just behind the scenes, just as I'm learning and listening to people's experiences. But when I found that out, I thought it was amazing. I was like, he's going to be teaching with you at Scott. Because I wondered then, I'm like, okay, so, because I originally was like, okay, Emery's probably going to go. Like, because that's what my mind was like, Emery's probably going to go. When I get them on there, I've got to ask them what this is like for you. And so for you to lead with that, it's fantastic. Because that's what Tim is known about in the halls at Cooper when he was coaching at Cooper, was how many students love him for him. Why? Because there was genuine authenticity. You've been doing the same thing over here at Scott, and now I'm moving back out to Kenton County, and I'm like, here we go. I'm with the Sullivans. I'm all about that mentality, that desire, that excitement. So for that, after what you go through as a family and as a coach and as a leader of people, to kind of come through that and have some hope and encouragement in that is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
It is, and just having Tim, and I mean, he, like you said, he's so good at building relationships. And that's something where I said we hit a home run with hiring him.
Yeah.
At Scott, I love Scott, and I've had plenty of opportunities to leave, and I've never, I just never could see myself leaving because it's my alma mater, but I just really have a home there. I love the kids, and the kids can be tough and they're challenging, but I think that's what I love about
you like
it.
That's
Like as a coach, it's like, you try to build things and you try to improve people and all of that. So it's kind of like the teaching aspect too. Like you're given something and you want to try to improve everybody. So I think he's going to do a great job. Just again, building the relationships and getting through to some of these kids who have some really tough home lives.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, let's go ahead and bring him on. You want to think we should go and bring him on real quick?
Absolutely.
All right. Coach Sullivan, thank you for joining us. Familiar face, everybody. Been on here a couple of times.
Oh yeah, love it.
It's an OG, Coach
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
He's like kind of an OG. That's right.
I appreciate
Josh
it, man.
Ball.
Yeah.
We got some things to catch up on here. I've been talking to your lovely wife. She's incredible. You were right.
I told you.
You weren't kidding.
Winner.
You were not kidding. You're
She's
like,
a winner,
to
man.
Winner.
That's it.
I know. And now I see you two both. I'm like, all right, I get it all now. It all makes sense. Okay. So real quick, before we get into both of you, I didn't get to ask this question earlier. Where did art come from?
So my dad is an engineer, and he has the best penmanship I've ever seen. Like it looks like a typewriter. People used to compliment him on his handwriting. So I think just he has some real, he can draw and things like that. But I don't know. I think I just started drawing, and I remember in 6th grade actually when like Tim Hanner was one of my teachers, or no, it wasn't him. I'm trying to think. But anyway, so I don't know. I won a T-shirt design. In the 6th grade, we were the Super Sixers at Woodland. They chose my design, and that kind of like, I don't know, my teachers were just always really encouraging, like, you're such a good drawer. And I was like, oh, and I love that. And so I don't know, it just kind of inspired me, I guess, to keep going. And I mean, I have this book I made in the 6th grade. You put pictures in it, you wrote your stories, and you drew, different things. And I remember them just complimenting it. But it's funny because I wish I had that here, because it says, I want to be a pro beach volleyball player. I want to have like 3 kids. Like it was all late, and it's so funny. I want to be an art teacher, I think it said, or whatever as well. So it had all these things, and I'm like, that's so funny. It had the volleyball, it had the art, it had the kids.
You manifested all
like,
of it.
in the 6th grade. And now I'm like, a lot of that's happening.
That is wild.
But I love it, and I love art. I'm not like great at it, I would say, but I don't know if I paint those.
I was going to bring it up next.
The basketballs and the volleyballs. I have about
so
7 on my table right now that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would notice before I ever really got to know you and say hi too much, because I was too intimidated to say hi to the goat. But you would always be like, could be at the shack, could be at another event or something, and I would always see you working on the basketballs.
Oh, I take them everywhere because I don't have time to work on them. So I mean, if, after my season's over and I'm traveling with Emory and her softball team, I'll be traveling to Alabama with basketballs and Tennessee, and I'll be painting while she's playing. And in between games, I paint.
They're everywhere in the house.
They are.
Kitchen.
Man, I want a FocalFlip basketball season 1, 52-0.
All
52 episodes,
like
no
that.
losses.
I like that. I like that.
Tell me how much they are.
We'll make that happen.
I'll pay premium too.
All right. Even better.
Yeah, especially for that skill set all day.
Love it.
All right, so thank you both for joining me. This is super cool that we were able to make this happen. We were just talking about you. Of course, you got to sit kind of in behind the scenes and listen to us. And yeah, you got a good one, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, great leader, great coach, great mom, great wife. Like, you can't ask for much more than that. So it's cool.
It makes things a little easier, man, when you got someone like that, like she's inspiring. Like, not just she inspires me, she inspires everybody. Like, just watching her now this year, Coach M, and get to watch them two together on the floor. And also being in the same building now and seeing how not just the volleyball players react to her, but how other kids do and how the staff members react to her too. And it all kind of comes together. But yeah, there's a reason I fell in love early.
Now you're falling in love all over again, walking in the halls of Sky High School, baby.
Every day.
Yeah, I just thought it's just a cool story, especially, after you go through a lot of tough trials and tribulations in your own life, and you're kind of wondering, like, what is all this stuff going to look like? You can't ask for landing in a better place than with your spouse,
It's God works in His ways, and we know that, and I don't take that lightly at all, and obviously it was tough going through all that, and
sure.
But what do? I mean, you can put your head down and go sulk somewhere, or you can figure it out, and like you guys were talking about how we had coaches and teachers in our lives that help us. Well, I got a best friend that helped me through that, and our family and friends, and to be able to do that. And even when I second guess myself, she looks at me, no, there's you are the man. This is what we're going to do. And I mean, she was that way the whole time through that thing, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. That's what we need. That's what a true relationship, a true teammate is. That's what that's all for. So that's awesome. Good for you for doing that, because that's it. You can navigate right through that. No, don't let yourself slip into that stinking thinking, that negativity bias, that imposter syndrome type thing. Don't get into that. And move right through it.
Through that whole thing, I don't know anybody that would have handled that situation the way that he did. He didn't talk negatively about anybody. He got his guys together, and he just locked in. He got his guys locked in, and they just did something unbelievable last year. I mean, like, to witness that, it was
pretty neat.
I've never seen anything like that. Going through what he was going through on the outside of the court, and all this, just talk about it. It was in
so
the
talk.
media, it was in whatever.
Over,
I mean,
right?
Everybody wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Me, I love to talk about it. Like, I will talk to anybody about it, because I did not handle it the way that he did. Yeah. But he just handled it with such grace and class, and never made it about anything else, but he was just locked in with his guys, and that's why they were able to do what they did last year. Like he said, he could have quit. He could have, just kind of fired back at people and kind of been the mean guy about it, but he really...
No, you stayed the course, man.
Right. And he believed we believed in him, and he was doing the best job. I mean, it just...
Yeah, that emotion had to be overwhelming.
It was.
When you won,
And to be honest with you, a big thing that helped, obviously the support and all that, but being a dad, man, and our 3 kids getting a front row seat to it, and seeing kind of how they reacted to it, and at times, like Emory had a really hard time. I mean, it was very, very tough, and I just kept looking at her, and I'm like, nobody's going to judge you for being this way, and no one's going to judge you for going through this rough, low time for you, but and you can react and do however you want it, and nobody's going to judge you for that, because this sucks. But here's what we're going to do: we're going to stick our chest out, and we're going to shine, and that's how you have to live. And I tried to continue to. I didn't want my kids to see hatred come out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, I'm very emotional.
That's not easy to do either.
I'm very emotional, and I'm very, I wear my heart on my sleeve. So I've really tried to work on myself as far as how I react in situations, because I'm like my dad. My dad was very, very argumentative, and he would fire right back at you if you came at him. And I'm trying to do a better job of processing things and making sure that I understand there's a lot of eyes watching, so you better do it the right way.
Good for you. That's awesome. Well, I love that you guys were able to accomplish such incredible tasks, because I went to a ton of games, got to be in the trenches there with you and kind of hug on you, love you, and cheer you on.
We saw you there.
It was pretty cool
every time.
So it was pretty neat. So let's talk now. Okay. So you end up getting a teaching job at Scott,
which is, I can't tell you how blessed and how thankful I am. Obviously I had options where we could do things and go places, but
I'm sure
when that happened and I started the conversations with Cody and with Scott, it was and then as it went on, I was like, is this real? Am I really getting ready to work in the same building as Andrea? And because we did,
you guys had talked about it before.
She wasn't joking. Everybody's like, man, you guys are going to get. I'm like, dude, we don't ever argue. We very rarely argue. Do we have disagreements? Yeah, but we enjoy being around each other. We were just at UDF on the way here. And I looked at her, and she's all smiling, giddy, and I went, "You love this being after school together, don't you?"
Would you all get a little ice cream date? Pre-podcast.
We walk in, one of our kids is there, and he's like, "Mrs. Sullivan," and then he walks in, and he goes, "Mr. Sullivan."
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Very special, and to have him there is, obviously I miss my guy Elijah, but he's growing up and he's becoming a man on his own, and he's doing some great things at St. Henry where he's at, and we're really, really proud and really happy for him.
Yeah, that's awesome. So congrats on the St. Henry job.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Awesome.
So congrats on the St. Henry job. I've got a storied history with St. Henry, but I love a lot of the administration out there, and I love a lot of the staff. Mm-hmm. And when you can when I'm familiar with that and you can kind of see what they're all about, you kind of know they're going to make a pretty good hire, especially when somebody retires, and that was an awesome hire. So congrats on that. I mean,
thank you. It's
they ruined my life in 2003.
I remember.
And I'll always have trauma.
I get it.
That's why I have to do this mental health coaching.
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. The highs and lows of being a player.
Now I got to freaking cheer you guys on. I love Dave.
The good
thing
thing
I got
is
to cheer on the Crusaders.
We're not in that 33rd that you lived in.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah,
that was 18.
Nightmare, dude.
Right?
Gauntlet.
We're not in that district now, so you can kind of feel good about that, I guess.
So yeah, congrats on that. So
Thank you.
So what is it like now? I mean, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. It's like, okay, old horse, new reins type thing, right? Coming into a new program, getting to bring your mentality, your regular coaching style in there. But I just have a few questions. What's it like when you go to teach at Scott? And you and Andrea are teaching, and then she's coaching volleyball, there with the program. Emery's there. Then what is it like with leaving and having to go? I guess you don't know necessarily. Yeah, you've only been doing some open gyms and some stuff.
Yeah.
But what is that going to be like? Because you're so relationship driven.
It's not ideal. I have to find ways to get on campus at St. Henry and to get around those kids, and not just the basketball players, but going to the football game.
Yeah, all of them.
Or going to and just being there. If we're off at in Kenton County, schools are off, and St. Henry's in, maybe I just go hang out in the cafeteria with Mr. Brandon and the teachers and see if they'll allow me to just kind of go in there and just kind of hang out. Because I love being around young people and just trying to find a relationship in some way that I can relate to them and they can relate to me. And, it is not ideal at all to not be in the same building. But I'll say this, working for the administration I'm working for at Scott, and then having the administration at St. Henry and Grant Brandon and Jim Lee Demler and those folks, I'm in a really, really good place.
That's awesome.
They, even Andrea and my mom, as it kind of started to unfold, they all were like, we see you walking differently, you're holding your head differently, and I wasn't thinking about it, but it was, a lot of it is just I feel back. I feel like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
and it's rejuvenated.
Absolutely. Think about everything that was weighing on your shoulders. Just you and your family in general.
No doubt.
It's just a lot as a leader to continue to carry yourself in such a manner. that she even commented on. Like,
yeah. And I've always, I continued to try to keep that. And I just read it on your board over here, on your whiteboard, you know, that I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. I'm going to figure out a way to win. I'm going to figure out a way to, and winning doesn't come in like the 500 wins. It's great. But what she's done during that time, it's not those wins, man. It's not those 6 region championships and all the
it's lives, man.
Right. You know, like that when they have alumni night or the day that she won 500, you see all these alumni showing up. There's a reason. There's a reason why it's relationships, man. And I will never count myself as a victim. I don't care what happens. I will never count myself as a victim. And my kids will never count themselves as a victim.
Thank you for that.
This is what it is. Absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I want everybody to have the mentality. I really do. We all face all kinds of different stuff, but my goodness, you can move your way right through it. I mean, I had a delay how many years in life? At 36, I started spreading my wings even farther. And it's like, why didn't I do this when I was younger? And that's why we do what we do, is to teach these kids you can.
Absolutely.
You know, you can. But guess what? It's going to take you being coachable and you learning how to get through difficult things in life. And that's, you know.
If you go through life and you never get cut from something or you never get fired from something, consider yourself a 1% blessed person. Like, you're one of those people that.
Yeah, it's rare.
You know what I mean? like, I talked to my classes when the first week at Scott. Like, I'm 47 years old and I got fired. That's what it is. You know, like, what am I going to do? Jump out of the profession? Quit? No, we're going to figure it out.
Yep. What's next?
Somebody else needs me. I'll go find out who needs me and we'll help them.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is.
I'll be bummed for a minute, but you know what? Let's go.
That's right.
It's time to go. That's awesome.
Let's go, crew.
Let's go, crew. This is so unique. I guess we'll have to put some Scott stuff up back here.
We can get the Scott Eagles over there. We can get some St. Henry gear over there. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some crew gear and some Scott gear.
All right.
I got to reach out to Fro, too, because him and I were chatting about coming on here. I got to see if I'm buckled up and prepared for him or not.
It's a lot.
I love him, dude. I absolutely love him. And he is going to be, I love the shit. You guys have wound up in 2 great schools.
100%.
Great staffs. So awesome. Well, is there anything that we want to end on? I know we got to get you out of here. It's just been a blessing having you both on here. I would like you to leave, each of you to leave with some words of encouragement for today's youth, and then for today's coaches that coach today's youth. So I would love to just kind of give some of that, even if you want a woman's perspective towards ladies, towards girls, or towards just in general. Boys, we want to hear it. We're about to have a lot of women come on our podcast, so I'd really like, kind of hone in on that too.
I think for young women, it's about helping them find their voice, helping them find ownership of themselves and their lives, because sometimes you want other people to do these things for you instead of you being the person that, you're leading your own life. Like they need to find a way to lead their own life, and meaning like, they set their goals. They, set the path to those goals. And I just think, in the resiliency that you build along the way of, like he said, you're going to fail. If you don't, that's really, really rare.
I know.
And there's things, there's times where I just think as young women, you have to be able to have that growth mindset where you learn from mistakes. And I think like social media is so hard for these, especially young girls. Mm-hmm. Like they are comparing themselves to everybody else and what other people look like and the likes and the favorites and all of that stuff. And it just, you want them to love themselves for themselves and to appreciate their value as not only a young lady, but somebody that is going to be a mom one day, is going to be a wife someday, and be somebody that has to take care of a family and be, if your husband's going through a tough time, you've got to be the pillar at that time, like how he has been for me. I had to do that same thing for him. And it was tough. It was obviously tough on both of us, but these young ladies have to learn how to be supportive, be caring, be driven to not only just, be a partner, but also do their own thing in life and have their careers and be able to be a mom. Like there's so many things that are going to just weigh on their shoulders later on in their life. And you've got to be able to handle that weight that's getting ready to come on. And that's going to build up little by little. but you're going to be walking around with a lot of stuff on your shoulders that you know, things that you're carrying around and the problems. And you know, as moms, we take a lot on, you know, through our kids, through our husband, through our jobs. And there's a lot of weight. And I think if you're not strong enough to handle that, then you can break. And so my thing is like, again, going back to that mental toughness aspect, that is so huge for young women to be able to handle the tough times because we are so emotional as people that sometimes we can let our emotions override us instead of, you know, having clear thoughts and okay, how are we going to get through this? What are the steps we're going to take? And so I just think
so you help them manage through their emotions and stuff?
We try, you know, we try. I have great assistant coaches right now who both have gone through some things, and they're younger and they relate to the girls, and they, you know, I think the three of us work really well together right now.
Oh, cool.
And it's just something where I think we can all kind of pitch in and talk to some of these girls through certain things that they're going through. But again, it's trying to teach them that resiliency and how to push through. And, you know, we always say volleyball should be your safe space. You know, if things are going on outside of this, when you come in here, you know, none of that matters. You know, you get to do something that you love. You get to be around teammates that you love. So we really try to treat it as just a, you know, that little trust tree, the trust circle type thing.
Trust circle. 100%.
And we want to be there for each other. And I think that's the biggest thing like we try to do in our program is be a support system for each other. You know, the coaching staff, the players, like the coaches and the players, like all of us try to just really, I think, just be there for one another. And, you know, we talk about building relationships and being there for kids. I mean, I love staying in touch with like former players. I love when they reach out, or if I just shoot them a text that, you know, when they respond, just checking in and, you know, going to weddings. And we've been to a couple of former player weddings here in the last couple. We love getting invited to weddings. So we always have a good time at those, but it's just, you know, I think just these girls need to find the will and the way to get through some of the things that life's going to throw at them here in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh, for sure.
When it comes to young people, I would, the advice I would look at is, I think it's simple. 2 things. Number 1, get outside your comfort zone. Don't, and why I say that is, and kind of it goes back to failing. Like, you can't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone and try something or do something and push yourself to a limit. It's okay that you fail, but it's not okay to fail and then you're just giving up or you don't learn from it. You got to get outside your comfort zone to get better. That's where that growth talks about. In practice, we talk about go harder, get outside your comfort zone. It's okay. You're going to fail. The ball's going to go bouncing away, but now you got to go get it. Next week, it won't bounce away on you as much. You know, like you have to learn how to do that. And, you know, the second thing is, and I think that this is kind of not just kids, but people in general, is serve. You got to, like, you can't be so self-centered to where you don't look at what you're doing and how it affects the people around you. And I think we're so caught up in all the highlight reels.
We're caught up in self instead. Like, we need to serve. I think that's a really good point.
And I'll be, look, I wasn't that way growing up. Now I was brought up the right way to think of others and understand, but like, I didn't really get how to serve others and how to really try to uplift other people and try to help them. Even if I don't really respect what they do, I still want to see them do well. You know, I don't want to see people, you're going to fail, but I don't want to see people hurt and struggle. So learning how to serve people and give to others, and even if it's just a, hey, how are you doing? Or a handshake or a hug.
As simple as that.
Just a smile. You know, like some people, there's a lot of kids, man, they walk with their head down because they just simply don't have the confidence to look up and see what's out there. So just giving that relationship, you know, that ability to see someone and, oh man, I'm recognized by that person. You know what I mean?
Very cool.
Young coaches, I would say, we as a head coach now, or as a coach that's been doing it long, I can't tell you how thankful I am for the guys that I worked under as an assistant coach. The people that I learned how to do it and how not to do it. I learned what their strengths were, what their weaknesses were, and how that can relate to me. And I think so many coaches want that head chair, that first chair, so fast. And don't get me wrong, I wanted it, but I was also smart enough to put myself in situations. Now everybody's like, well, you got able to handle it. You got handed the Cooper job. Well, no, I didn't. You know, like, no, I didn't. A lot of people didn't want it. they don't want to get their teeth kicked in, right? Yeah. But I had worked my rear end off. I took a GA job. I took a job, but I came
2
home.
wins, 5
I went to
wins,
Mays, and you get to that point. But like everybody wants that first chair, and they really don't understand how hard it really is. And I'm not saying what we do is like the end of the world, but like there's a lot of pressure and a lot of things that come with it. And if you're not equipped because you haven't been through it with someone else, when you get that chair and all of a sudden, you might have a good year the first year you come in, you got all this talent, but then all of a sudden now what do you do when you don't have the players? How are you going to keep that, that balance?
There's a whole lot to it.
And it's not just the coaching either, man. You've got to deal with everything else. I remember when Justin Holdhouse, one of my best friends, man, when he took the job at Cooper and he came on and he and I started working together, I tried to let him in on everything, like paperwork, administrative stuff, all that. And I'll never forget when he took the girls' job, man. It was like mid-January. He looked at me, he goes, man, you weren't lying. He goes, even though you let me in on all this, it's a lot, just because it's always on your mind and it's always weighing on you. So I think that young coaches have to understand that there's going to be a lot of ups, but there's going to be a lot more downs.
Yeah.
It's just part of it. And you got to be prepared and you got to have a support system. We talked about that last time I was on here. You've got to have a support system.
Yep.
Because if you don't, you feel lonely and you get kind of pushed off to the side and you got to figure out, man, I might need to leave this profession. And some do. Like it's not easy to be on that head chair.
No, it is not. Not at all. That's why I have you all on my podcast. That's why I have so many coaches on my podcast, because as I started to coach more and more, and as I matured and as I grew, I learned. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. And it takes special people to do it.
Special or psychotic? Because I know where she's at.
Y'all know where I'm at too. I'm right in there with you. I mean, we're just three's a company.
I'm in.
That's just what it is. Well, it's awesome. This has been a great episode. It really has. I think you guys are fantastic leaders. I would love to have you back out here. Since you've been on, we've been growing, which is kind of exciting for FocalFlip. We started with our tea brand, but we got an office now, and we're down on Howard Letzler.
I love it.
Yeah. So
Mike, here's the thing, man. Like a lot of people start things, but can they get that longevity? Like she's talking longevity about like what you're doing. This is awesome. Like you're giving people a platform to give back to others and to help others.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
And that's rare. Again, we go back to that serving. Like, it's your passion and all, but like you're giving to a lot of people, not just the people that come in here and sit. Because like you're giving us a platform to come in and tell our story. But like I'm hoping that someday we're helping somebody. Like she talked about the young coach.
This is what's going to help one person.
The young coach that hey, I want to talk to you about that. Like as a coach, you're like, yes,
I know,
absolutely.
Right? I immediately stopped when she said that too. Like dude, yes. I would be. Come on,
right?
Come on.
Like I want to help you, but that's why I think this is just a great thing what you're doing, man.
Well, thank you.
The story that you shared about how like you had some lows and this is where you ended up was in this, down here in this basement, and like the fact you're doing it right out here, dude, I tell a lot of my college teammates about you, man, about how you're doing this. And I've got a couple that have dealt with a little bit of mental, illness and some things in their family. And they've gotten on and they've watched you and they just text me immediately. Like, man, that's just powerful stuff.
Dude, tell your boys to give me a text. Man.
Absolutely.
I'll be happy to help them, man.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. Thank you for that. That's encouraging. So, it's been exciting. I'm going to be out to watch these basketball games now. I guess I'm going to be sneaking out to a volleyball game tonight here in a little bit.
Yeah. We got 3 home games next week too.
Let's go.
I know, but I can go tonight.
Tonight should be a good one.
Tonight will be a good one.
It's nice. I'm not that far from there.
I know.
Yeah, see?
Not at all.
So, all right. Well, I love you guys. I want to have you back out here because I want to have basically everybody that's been on my podcast. I said this last year. I just hadn't been able to have time to get it set up. I think it'll be next year. It's like all of my guests out with their families out here to the farm.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and then kind of just do a little crawl to the winery and have a little bonfire, stuff like that. And just, just kind of bring all those minds, bring the kids together, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
So,
awesome, man.
Awesome. Well, I love you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Guys, hit like, hit subscribe. Still too old for doing this stuff. So I don't even know what social platform I'm going to be on tomorrow. So I love y'all. We're out.
So guys, you should like and subscribe and hit that
Okay,
I can't get it.
okay.
I'm not used to this.
Okay. Hey guys, subscribe to my dad's video and just like the bell.
Hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that bell.
And stay tuned. Love y'all.
100%. Love y'all. We're out.
I love that.